how you rebuild yourself when you've lost a loved one, how you rebuild yourself when you feel like your whole life has just crumbled. Even through the difficult times, you can still find peace. Even through the times where you're questioning God, you realize that God has a greater purpose. Like, who actually am I to be angry at God for taking her when he's the one that created her? Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, you are very welcome. For those that are returning subscribers, thank you very, very much. If you are new to my channel, I post my videos on Thursdays and Sundays at 6:30 p.m. So consider pressing that subscribe button if you enjoy this type of content, and also just why not? Either way, so welcome to yet another Poetry Thursday, and for today's video I'm talking about something that is said a lot but how I incorporate it in my life. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video. So the quote is, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. And I've just been doing a lot of like self-reflection over the last week or so. And do you know when you reach an extent where you are very happy with the way your life is going? Like, I'm not exactly where I want to be. I know I still have quite a long way to go, but I'm really content and happy with where I am in life and the direction my life seems to be taking. Like, I can see that there's a lot of potential held within me, and it's just a matter of me going after the things that I want, and they will happen. In doing all of that, I reached a certain stage where I was, do you know what it is? If someone asked me how I was doing, yeah, it's crazy how good I felt, and just like there was nothing wrong with my life. Like, absolutely nothing. Like, I couldn't, like, obviously I don't have everything that I want, but there wasn't anything I wasn't too happy about, or anything that was significantly bothering my peace of mind. And then life just had to humble me very quickly and make me realize that as good as life can be, like, we actually do not have control over a lot of things that happen outside of our lives. We are in control of whether we are happy or not, just because of the mental conditioning you give yourself and how you look after yourself mentally. You are in charge of, to a certain degree, what you earn. You're in charge of how you take things in. You are in charge of the people that are around you, how much exposure they have around you, and you're in charge of a lot of things in your life. But there is a lot that we are not in charge of, such as life itself. And like, there was, like, I can really say, like, my life was going really well. Like, really, really well. I was in a good place, and to be honest, I am still in a good place. It's just taken back and torn away, really. Like, my auntie passed away, and it made me just think, like, as happy as you can be, life will throw you curveballs that you will never anticipate. And it will come at a time where maybe you will in the same situation as me, and you will live in your best life, not because you're going out and doing things, but you are living your best life internally. Like, you are in a good mental place, you are good in terms of just your whole life just seems very well rounded, and you're just taking care of yourself. And life will just hit you unexpectedly. And it made me reflect a lot on just how precious life is, and how we can take a lot of things for granted, per se. But also, in my auntie's passing away, like, I can say I'm really heartbroken. I really am. But I'm also at peace, which I found really weird. And I have done my fair share of crying to let it out because I realized me trying to keep things in and not pretending, but trying to be this strong person and whatnot really comes and bites me in the backside later on. And I think in me having to self-reflect a lot over this last year and how many of my family members have passed away and stuff, I realized I'm dealing with it when it is still fresh and raw is the best time for me because it allows me to just get it out. And in doing that, I can say, although yes, I'm heartbroken and I'm really devastated, I am also at peace. And although I have all these emotions and feel, sometimes it kind of catches me and I feel really upset and I'll be thinking about her and stuff. I'm also content and I'm also still happy, although in these circumstances I normally not. And like really when life throws things at you, how you take it, how you deal with it is really essential for how you will move forward. And I didn't want this to be another thing that crippled me, because in the past it really has. And how I've gotten to this extent is literally just through self-reflection and getting to know myself and how I work as an individual. Like me hiding away from things, me not wanting to cry, me trying to be as strong as I can, and me not vocalizing how I feel always ended up with me then being unfunctional a few months later. And also at the time of the death, within the next month or so, I'm still very, very angry at God, and I'm still very frustrated and just that not in a good mental or emotional state. But this time around is different. Like I can say I am still at peace and I am still happy regardless of everything that is going on. And it's really reassuring that even through the difficult times you can still find peace. Even through the times where you're questioning God, you realize that God has a greater purpose. Like who actually am I to be angry at God for taking her when he's the one that created her? It's just we were fortunate enough to experience her, to be exposed to her, to feel her love, to have the memories that we have with her. But we didn't create her. And when God decides it's time, it's time. It might be hard for you to take it in, it might be hard for you to accept, but it is what it is, and we actually don't have control over it. And learning to make peace with life, now come to the understanding that death is actually a cycle of life, but it's also not the end. And I think a lot of people look at death as the final thing. It's not, because the memories that you have is still keeping that person alive. The gravestone that they'll have, where they're placed, is a reminder that that person lived and that person was there, that person was experienced. And also just trying to keep yourself in a good mental place, because if you do not do that, especially things like death, they can really, really, really mess you up. And I'm just grateful to God for the ability to be able to, even when life gets difficult, to still be able to hang on and hold on and actually see hope and actually want to understand things, want to see things from a different perspective, and also just an opportunity to also grow. When life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. Like when life presents you with difficult situations, be willing to extract the things you need. And there may be seeds in there may be those moments that you just feel so horrible, but how you perceive things and how you take things in and how you deal with things really determines the kind of person you'll be outside of that situation or outside of those circumstances, or how you rebuild yourself when you've lost a loved one, how you rebuild yourself when you feel like your whole life has just crumbled. Depends on how you deal with that situation and not letting things affect you to the core. Like emotionally you can be affected, death will affect everyone, but as long as you reflect on what that situation is, for example what death is, and understanding that death is not final. Death is just a transition to the higher self. Death is just a transition into the higher world and into the spiritual realm, and the person is never really gone. Energy cannot be destroyed, so she lives on in everything else. Like the memories that I have in my mind, that's still part of her. And trying to connect with life in that kind of manner, I think has really helped to broaden how I see life and how I see the human existence, and just learning to deal with things in the most healthiest way possible for you. And what works for me might not work for the next person, and it's just learning about yourself and learning what works best for you and what things you can implement to make sure that whenever life throws you some melons, you're able to make some lemonade. Whenever life throws you with difficult situations, it doesn't completely tear you apart. You are able to still carry on and build yourself up and learn from it. And it's something that I hope I'll be able to keep on, and something that I'll be able to implement in many other aspects of my life, and just in improving who I am as a person and all this great and wonderful stuff. The revelations of life are absolutely beautiful if you allow yourself to be made vulnerable, to be weak, to maybe cry, to sober, to be depressed. But through the process of all of those emotions, this greater person that is created outside of that will be absolutely beautiful. And yeah, I guess that's my video for today, guys. It's just, whenever life throws you with difficult situations, don't let it be something that completely tears you apart. Deal with the emotions that you need to deal with. Don't run away from things, but also try to see another perspective to it. Also try to see the bigger picture of it, and is it actually something that you were in control of? And if it isn't, there's no point stressing about it, because it's not going to do you anything. It's not going to change the outcome. It's not going to bring her back. My crying and stressing and being depressed is not going to bring her back. Like, she has made her transition already. And coming to peace with that, like finding peace with difficult situations and circumstances that you may not want to happen in life, but it's actually part of life. And yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I do love these kind of self-reflection talks. Like, let me know if you guys actually like them. I might just be blabbing along for no reason. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I will see you beautiful people in my next video.